This is an iHeart podcast.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Wells Fargo seeks broad impact in their communities, focused on supporting customers and communities through housing affordability, small business growth, financial health, and more. Donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. Wells Fargo, the bank of doing. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/saydo. Support includes contributions from Wells Fargo & Company, Wells Fargo Bank N.A., and the Wells Fargo Foundation.
Hello. From Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month, we're talking about women of the wheel, icons who turned motion into momentum and spun their legacies on spokes, skates, and potter's wheels. These women harnessed the power of the axle, pushing their crafts and professions forward through their works and lives. Today's Womanican was one of the first African-American female race car drivers in the United States. Her ambition, strength, and style made her a trailblazer in a sport with few women. Let's talk about Cheryl Glass. Cheryl Glass was born in 1961 in a small town called Mountain View, California. 2 years later, her family moved to Seattle. Cheryl's parents were professionals who raised an overachiever. Her mother was an engineer for Boeing, and her father built cars. Cheryl herself was an entrepreneurial kid running her own ceramics business. She even sold some of her dishware to department stores. When she was 9 years old, Cheryl's dad, Marvin, helped her buy her first racing car. When Cheryl was growing up, there weren't many black race car drivers, and even fewer women. But Cheryl didn't care. She was busy. She raced sprint cars, powerful, fast, low-to-the-ground racers. She achieved regional, state, and national titles, and crowds started to notice. Cheryl earned the nickname The Lady. By the time she was 16 years old, she graduated high school with honors. Not long after, she was named one of the top 10 drivers nationally. 2 years later, Cheryl enrolled in Seattle University to study electrical engineering. She didn't end up graduating and instead pursued her sprint car career at Skagit Speedway in Mount Vernon, Washington. Cheryl was petite, just 5'5", but she made herself known. At Skagit, she wore a white fire suit with orange and black stripes. The Lady was embroidered on the back of her suit. She meant business. In 1980, at 19 years old, Cheryl captured the season championship race at Skagit Speedway. She was the first woman to drive a sprint car there. Cheryl told reporters she wanted to win the Indianapolis 500 and compete on the Formula One circuit. She said, "I picked sprinters because they're the biggest, meanest, roughest cars that I could drive to make a name and go on. But with a sport this competitive, there's always risk." The same year as Cheryl's win, she crashed while driving 120 miles per hour. The blood vessels in her eyes were so damaged that she lost sight for a few hours. Her soft tissue and muscles were damaged in her face, head, neck, and knees. Most people would have called it quits, but not Cheryl. She got back on track in no time. In 1982, legendary race car driver Charlie Patterson invited her to drive at the Hoosier 100, one of sprint car racing's premier events. She said yes. This was a showcase for the best of the best, and Cheryl was there, representing as a black woman in a historically white male arena. She hoped to crack the top 10, but she was up against well-established career racers. She ended up finishing 21st. Around that time, Cheryl took a break from the track. She got engaged and decided to design her own wedding dress, adding another career to her repertoire. She launched Cheryl Glass Designs, a custom wedding dress business, but she wasn't ready to give up racing just yet. Her dad bought her a Penske PC6 Indy car, which she tested at Seattle International Raceway. It was her first foray back towards the Indy 500. In 1990, she made a leap to the Indy Lights series, a stepping stone to IndyCar, but her laps were too slow, and she struggled on the different courses. After a few races, she stepped away and focused on her business full-time. Still, Cheryl kept working. She and her father co-founded engineering programs for minority students at the University of Washington. She was also active in local politics, advocating for education initiatives in low-income neighborhoods. In 1991, Cheryl's home was broken into and she was assaulted. A few years later, in 1997, Cheryl died after falling from the Aurora Bridge in Seattle. She was 35 years old. All month long, we're talking about Women of the Wheel. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Talk to you tomorrow.
Chances are you've been to the doctor recently, and you probably handed over your insurance, your ID, and even your social security number. Your doctor is just one of many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose your details, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code iHeart or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Every day has a to-do list, but adding Enjoy Belvita to yours can help you knock out the rest of it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are a tasty and convenient breakfast option when paired with low-fat yogurt and fruit that provides steady energy all morning. While Belvita Energy Snack Bites give you the perfect mid-morning refuel. Best part, they both taste great. So make the most out of your morning with a bite of Belvita. Pick up a pack of Belvita at your local store today.
This is an iHeart podcast.